Good afternoon, everybody. Christine Barconi here in the NBC4i Streaming Center. Joining me right now is Darius Blackford. He's the race director for the Nationwide Children's Hospital Columbus Marathon and Half Marathon. And we have some really exciting news to share with you guys today. We just got word that an in-person race is scheduled to take place this year in mid-October. Darius, thank you so much for joining me. Tell us about this and how you guys came to this decision.
Well, understanding first, thanks for having me. Understanding that we still are preparing for a marathon, and this is the first step. We don't have all the final details yet worked out with the city and the state and all the entities we work with, but we wanted to get the process started because this is normally when we would be doing that anyway. I mean, the good thing is we don't really receive our permits and permissions and things like that until later in the summer, usually August. So we're well in hand with regards to being able to get the ball rolling. But we wanted to give people a chance to start preparing. Really, training starts around June 1st for a marathon in the fall, and so that's the window that we're going to use by opening registration on June 1st.
Yeah, obviously running a marathon or a half marathon is not easy. These athletes have to get their bodies in shape and ready for that. So you said you've been working with local and state health officials. Recently, we've seen some really great numbers as far as vaccines kicking up, as well as numbers coming down. So has that been encouraging to you guys as well?
Yeah, and that's really where this is coming from. I've been working with them really for a whole year after we canceled in 2020, just to stay in touch with people to make sure that we were on their radar as we started moving forward. I didn't want us to make any announcements or decisions until I cleared it with all of our partners to say, hey, we're going to take this next step. Are you okay with it? And they, those that said, yes, we are going along for the ride with you, have, and those that said, you don't have permissions yet, but we're really encouraged by what we're seeing. That was a cue for us to say, okay, let's go this next step. But the good news is we're very participant focused. And our key is if for some reason we can't end up going forward after we've taken money from people, we're going to give it right back. Just like last year, we were one of the few events in the country that did full refunds. And that's just a responsibility that we feel to those people who've had faith and trust in us over the years to always be fair to them.
Absolutely. And I mean, besides training your body, marathons can be a lot like very emotional for people who run them. At the end of the race, you'll often see, I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
Yeah.
You'll see people, break down and crying, especially when you have the beneficiary being Nationwide Children's Hospital and you, set up those special reminders along the way why these people are running. What is the response been like for people who run this marathon, year after year in support Nationwide Children's Hospital?
Well, I don't know if you're a runner or not. You picked up exactly on what really has changed for this event since 2012. It used to just be a bunch of crazy runners and walkers who took over the city and got in the way and
Held up traffic.
exactly. But now that we're partnered with the hospital since 2012, people are really understanding, and it became more of a community event. And to be able to help those kids and help that hospital has added that level of emotion, like you said. We've raised more than $10 million since 2012, more than $1 million a year. And it's just people will come out and say, I never thought I could run or walk a marathon or half marathon, but I'm going to do it for those kids. And, you had to say that about emotion because I always get choked up about what we're able to do for those kids. And it means a lot to be able to even potentially have a chance to do that again this year.
I mean, whether it's Buckeye-thon or the Memorial Tournament or you guys, you're a staple as far as fundraising goes for the hospital. So I think it's hard not to get emotional thinking about
Yeah.
those kids and the millions of dollars that has been raised to, help fund the hospital, which, is one of the crown jewels in our community here as well. So I think it's really awesome that you guys are, planning on coming back in the fall in mid-October. I guess just again, just can you talk a little bit about what hasn't been decided yet? I know people, there's it's a lot of people, and so we want to make sure everybody is feeling safe, come October, and I know that's top of you guys' mind as well.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is we have experts here in the community. We have health officials, we have community leaders who are going to really dictate what we can do. Going to work closely with them, but we've never done anything unless it was permitted and really respecting those leaders for their intellect and their skills. And because of that, we're going to see what the protocols are with regards to the event size, the time limits. We might not be able to do our indoor health and fitness expo at the convention center. It might be outside. We might need to limit just the number of water stops on the course. All those types of things, all of that's up for study over the coming weeks. But we will not do an event that is not safe and comfortable for people. That's always our number one priority. And by focusing on that priority, it makes the rest of it pretty easy.
Hey, Darius, have you guys discussed potentially requiring people being vaccinated to run or showing that proof?
We're basically going to follow the lead of the health leaders and the city and those folks. If they require things, we're gonna follow the rules. And that's one of the reasons why we are holding our price for June and July without a price increase. So over those next nine, between today and the end of July, we've got 9 weeks where people can basically make the decision based upon the latest information that we've provided. We know by then we're going to have a much clearer indication of where things are than today.
All right. Well, I hope we can have the biggest event possible and raise the most money possible. So, Darius, anything else that I haven't asked you that you would like to add?
No, thank you. Thanks for letting me go on and on. I mean, I've had a lot I've wanted to say a lot this past year. Losing the event last year was really tough, but the hospital raised still more than $500,000 last year without an event. And I think the last thing I would say is not just for our race, but for all the events that are trying to come back. I just hope the community stays a little bit patient because this is new for everyone. And even though these events don't replace the suffering and the losses that we've had as a world and as a community because of COVID-19, at least it's a chance to maybe have some level of normal. But again, what normal is yet, we're still trying to figure out. So thanks for your patience in advance.
All right. Thank you, Darius, so much. I appreciate it. All right,
Thank
guys, we
you.
will have the full story. And if you want to sign up on June 1st, you can scroll down. I've got a link there over on NBC4i.com.